Well, welcome back to Doing Dave Stuff. I am taking off the doors of the Samurai so I can remove the fender. And anybody that's done that on these Samurais has experienced the difficulty of removing the hinge bolts. Unfortunately, they're Phillips head bolts that been on there since the 80s, so they're likely there for good. But a buddy of mine let me borrow this induction tool here called the Hot Rod Flameless Heat System, made by Solary, and I'll include a picture of the serial number and try to find it online for you guys, and I'll put that in the description. But the ideal is you put the head of the bolt through this coil here and it'll heat it up, and hopefully the heat will loosen up the bolt enough to not strip the head when you try to remove it. I've already tried a couple and it's worked out pretty well, and I'll demonstrate on one of the last ones that we have to do here on the bottom hinge, and so you kind of get an idea of how it works. All right, just place it over any of the heads here. I'll do this bottom one. There's a little button that you push on the tool itself that starts heating this coil here, and I put it on there for a little bit. It takes a while to heat it up, but you'll obviously discolor the paint, and that's just something you're gonna have to deal with. I did try to loosen these without any heat, and they're all stuck there. All right, let's give that a shot. Been on there for a minute. So I got a little screwdriver with a plier on it, give me some leverage. And there she goes, just like that. So you see, it's pretty simple. It seemed to work on 90% of the bolts. I likely won't reuse many of these bolts, but I am going to replace with a hex head bolt with the same thread. That way, if I ever do want to take it out again in 5-10 years, it's gonna come out a little easier because I got, a better mechanical grip with the socket. But if you have any questions, let me know. I will post in the description the exact tool that I'm using today. And if that's something you guys want to try out, then go ahead and buy one and give it a shot. I think it's worth it. All right, thank you. There's just some bolts that are just not going to come out. And what I typically do with those is I'll drill out the head of the bolt so I could expose the threaded part, and I'll weld a nut to it because the Phillips bolt is stripped at that point and it's not coming out. So you'll see, there's the nut I'm going to put on it. I got something that's actually the same threads, and there's still some sticking out. And so I'll get it as close as possible. I'll weld the inside of whatever's left of the bolt to the nut. And a lot of times the heat of the weld will kind of free it up, but it's just obviously these have been there since 1987, I think the year the body is, and it's just not going to come out no matter what you do. You're going to strip the Phillips head bolts. It's just the nature of the beast. So I'll go ahead and weld that together and pull that one out. Just like that, it's going to come out. Yeah, there she is. I mean, if we could just pull them out with the induction heater tool, that's great. But there's going to be some that break, and that's just what we're going to have to do on the ones that don't make it. All right, we'll keep pressing forward.